Hey, what's good, dog? There has been nothing going on the internet that I have found super duper interesting. Like, there's random stuff here and there, like the NPC TikTok trend, a 14-year-old being kidnapped in Arizona and getting saved by the FBI as her Switch exposes her IP. And then now we finally have the Barbie movie released in theaters, and everyone's complaining that it's woke garbage and it just plays down men, and we love men and we hate women, you know what I'm saying? But today, Anthony Padilla Manila uploaded an interview with Kris Tyson from Mr. Breast. Today we're going to be doing another Professor Teague's reaction video twice in a row, because it's either this or I react to TikTok cringe. Let's just jump right into it. Let's not waste any more time. Here we go.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Visit betterhelp.com/Padilla.
That's so funny, because this is exactly what Kris should have gotten instead of going down the path of transness. Like, come on, bro, that's so cringe. Okay, so the beginning of this video, of course, the introduction, introducing Kris. Who is Kris? He's the friend of Mr. Beast. He's been his first subscriber. He's really been good friends with Mr. Beast. They used to make all kinds of videos back in the day. Now, of course, we all know the story of him becoming trans. You know, he was married, he had a kid, and then he's like, you know what, I kind of feel like a woman. Wifey, what do you think of that? Oh, heck no, that's kind of cringe. I'm gonna divorce you. So he's single, his child is fatherless, and he's living his life as a woman. That is very, very cringe. We all know this.
How many, maybe 6 months to a year ago, I started to see a change in your appearance.
Yes.
You started to look a little bit less masculine, a little bit less beardy.
Yeah.
At the exact same time, you look like you were glowing, like you were more excited, like your
Yeah.
posture was better, like you were like excited
I was
about
happy.
life. Yeah.
I don't think so. Every single time we saw Kris in all these videos, blood looked miserable. I swear. I don't know where all this happy, good posture stuff is coming from. That is not what I have seen at all. I have a question. Do you think he's wearing panties under that dress? It just crossed my mind, and I'm not sorry.
There's been a huge reaction to this. Like, people are like, their minds are blown that something like this happened.
I knew there was going to be a big reaction, but I thought it would stay like, you know, like in that YouTube, you know, everything.
No, it's like tabloid culture now.
Yeah.
It's like every...
You see, I think he's right in assuming that nobody would have such a negative reaction as the internet did, but lately, people like me have been, you know, building our own platform on the internet to just slander this kind of culture. And to me, it is such a beautiful thing to see. But for him, it is very surprising that he's not getting 100% support. And so that's why all of the people that support him are having a big issue about everyone not supporting him. And so now we have this whole war about, why is Kris being a woman? He shouldn't be a woman. He used to say slurs on Call of Duty. What is this? And so in the long term, the more people come out as their quote-unquote true self, the more we're given the freedom and the platform to criticize all of this, and more people are not getting banned off of social media for doing so. And so ultimately, the world will become more and more normal. We can stop this whole facade, oh, I need to be my true self. Well, bruh, you clearly are your true self. Allah, God, did not make a mistake creating you. You are who you are meant to be. You know what I'm saying?
It was crazy. I was trying to take a break. I was like, okay, it's not affecting me too bad, but I don't need to consume all this media and attention of myself. I'll delete all my social media. And then I get on Google and I go to open a new tab, and Google will recommend me articles about myself.
Like, you love...
Wow, that's actually kind of crazy. Now, when you come out as your quote-unquote true self and you try to be something that you're not, you need to be able to accept criticism and accept that not everyone's going to agree with that lifestyle, okay? If you're going to, like, get rid of all your social media just so you don't hear all the naysayers, then you are proving to the world that you are very sensitive, okay? On my first iDubbbz video that got all that negative attention and it has like a 50% dislike ratio, I didn't take that down because I wanted to hear people's criticisms. I think it's good that I'm able to hear what people think about it, and if they disagree with me, I want to know what they disagree with it. And so I am just here to prove that I am more capable and stronger than Kris Tyson. If we were in an arm wrestle tournament, I would totally win because I'm able to take criticism on the internet. That's a hyperbole, whatever the heck literacy metaphor that is. Yeah, all right. Anyway, so the point is, if you can't take criticism, then how are you going to know whether or not you're wrong? Because if you end up realizing, oh, maybe I am my true self the whole time, I'm not actually trans, then that is so epic, okay? If you could just understand where people are coming from and just not block out the haters, then you will be on track to having such a more productive life.
But now I can say I'm a woman. I'm happy to say I'm a woman. It's something that's honestly so freeing. And I think that is part of what the HRT did for me, was being able to accept myself and being able to look in the mirror and say,
You see, that's what the community says, you know. You need to take HRT to accept yourself. It's actually the opposite. If you want to accept yourself, you don't take the HRT. You accept that you are the gender that you're born as. And then you can just move on, okay? This mindset to change yourself when you're not happy with the way you're born is so damaging to the youth. Everyone is just retarded, basically. And coming from experience, I said this in an earlier video like a while ago, but I'm going to repeat it because I have a brand new audience, so you all need to hear this too. It is much more beneficial to accept yourself the way you are than to damage and change yourself for quote-unquote the better, you know? And so if you're an epic gamer, don't stop playing video games because your mom told you to stop playing. Keep playing video games. You need to accept that you're a video game addict. You need to not go outside, and you need to accept that your life will forever just be video games. You cannot change yourself. That is also a joke, metaphor, simile, whatever the heck, literacy thing. Let's move on.
Yeah, Jimmy is getting really swole, isn't he?
Yeah, he is pumping, man.
You see his Twitter feed?
He is jacked.
He is jacked.
He's getting there, man.
Came out of nowhere until I get my...
My day was going so good until I saw Mr. Beast's balls today. All right.
Isn't that wild that people say there's the Kris effect, the Carl effect? Like one person can change or like infect the other brains of the other friends.
And I hate that people will clip it, but there is a smidgen of truth to it. Because Carl came down to North Carolina, small town, and he had bright pink hair.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, how do you have the confidence to like go to the grocery store and not feel like every single person is staring at you? And he's like, I don't care. And I was like, what?
What? You could not care what others think?
You can just not care?
Did you hear that, Carl? You inspired someone.
You did it.
Oh my gosh, he admits that the Carl effect is real. It was Carl that made him like that. Oh my gosh. He needs to work at Domino's Pizza because this is the biggest domino effect I've ever seen in my life. Do you know the first thing that a woman told me when I was like, you know what? I had this phase in like my freshman year where I was like, man, it would be so cool if I was a woman. I don't want to be a dude anymore. True story. I'm not even joking. She told me, the first thing she said was, bruh, you don't want to be a woman because we have periods. And also these things up here, the honkers, they hurt when you run. Especially if you're obese, they just go up and down and they hurt your chest. It's so, you don't want to be a woman, my guy. And I'm like, man. So how did I get over my pseudo gender dysphoria? I've never actually talked about this on the channel. Well, I saw how miserable real life trans people actually were, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that I'm the way I am because at least I'm not that. I'm happy to be a man because I have so many things that women don't. And women also have things that I don't, but I'm happy with what I have because men are better. That is also a joke. But I think we can all agree men are better at getting muscle, and I love having muscles. And so, yeah, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so he changed his name from Kris with a CH to Kris with a K. And so, you know, it's Kris, Christy, whatever. You see, trans people, they do one of two things. They either make their name the female version or female to male, whatever, or they choose a completely different name that is completely separate. And so I know, like, quite a bit of Jinxes, Junos, Scotts, Silos, and it's so cringe. Like, why don't you just choose a name like Goku or something, you know? Or Bunquifa the Fourth. Like, you're given the opportunity to change your whole identity and you choose the most cringe and annoying name possible. Imagine having the same name as the protagonist in Deltarune.
And I was driving my car and I had something in my eye and I pulled down my mirror and I just looked at myself, and for the first time it like hit me that I was like, I'm looking like myself, and I just started crying while driving, and I had to pull over.
Okay, so he mentioned how he started crying when he looked at himself in the mirror and, you know, seeing himself be himself for the first time in a while. You see, I have a question for all of you. Go down in the comments, tell me, after you type out your essay rant about why I'm cringe for being transphobic. I want you to tell me, is it okay for manly men to cry? It doesn't matter if they're super feminine, super masculine. Should men cry? Either alone, or can it be around people? Tell me your thoughts, because I have nothing else to say about that.
It's a really hot button issue right now. There's a lot of people putting in their 2 cents about it. And then I think what really like made a lot of people focus on it was that I'm just living my life. I'm not saying anything or doing anything. I'm just, hey, I'm on HRT. I'm a lot happier now. And I think that in my opinion, a lot of people were like, no, we can't have somebody this successful and this like happy being on HRT. It's bad optics. So, I mean, if that's the reason, maybe it was just general transphobia. Maybe they just don't like me.
Alright, let's talk about that, shall we? Should being trans be illegal because it's cringe? No, because if you can make trans people illegal, what else can you make illegal? Guns? Oh no. In the US, you have the freedom to be whatever you want to be, and people can judge you because it's free speech, but ultimately you don't have to listen to them. Again, it is free speech, so people can criticize you and give you their 2 cents, as you put it. And I think a good portion of the people that criticize you, like, I guess me, maybe. We're worried about you, Kris. Why do you have to live like... Why do you have to destroy your bloody body and abandon your child? Okay, getting divorced with your wife and abandoning your child, that is just so stinky blinky, okay? And then there's that one time you posted on Snapchat of him wearing heels. My boy chose to slay today. Oh my gosh. You're so bloody cringe. You're living your life, but... we don't believe you're doing it the right way because we believe that transness is a mental illness, okay? We have the opportunity to criticize you because we can, okay? And since you have such a big platform, since you're like best friends with Mr. Beast, then of course we're gonna come at you because Mr. Beast has a big child audience and you have your own kid and you did a very cringe thing going out this new lifestyle, getting divorced and abandoning your kid. We just don't vibe with that. We don't like you as a person for that. Not only are you harming yourself, but you're harming the people around you. If trans people are going to continue to exist, then we need to normalize criticizing them and normalize seeing transness as a mental illness because that's what it is. People should not encourage people to like live out being trans if they have gender dysphoria. Because you're encouraging people to be insecure. And we don't want the children to be insecure as well. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Oh, I've been dressing up as a woman since I was like 6 years old.
Oh.
Alright, so now we have proof, according to his words. Mr. and Mrs. Tyson, his parents, they have failed him because he's been dressing up as a little baby girl since he was quote-unquote 6. That is crazy. I would like to see visual evidence of this.
You ready for the voice?
I'm ready, if you are.
Oh gosh, we might have to do a couple of takes.
That's fine, that's fine.
All right.
Okay, what's my trans voice? I can do a woman voice, but let's just do it right here and now. But first, here is my Homo sapien voice, a man that likes men, gay person voice. Hey, what's good, dog? Today we're gonna be talking about gay people once again. I hate yeah. Alright, now the trans voice. I watched this video like some months ago of teaching you how to like get your voice higher pitch, and I think it was very interesting. So, you know. Hi everyone, it's Waffy Chew. Today we're going to be talking about anime once again. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite anime. 2 dudes and a cucumber. Everyone hold your applause. I'm still working on it. Maybe someday I can troll people on Omegle. I can dress up as a little baby anime girl and yeah.
Hey Anthony, congratulations on buying Smosh.
Thank you. That was
Oh my goodness, that was so fun. I mean, I'm so proud of you, Chrissy boy. Chrissy woman. I'm so sorry. I ain't even gonna cap. That was better than mine. Yeah, that's crazy. It's the sad reality of our society, but the man, the myth, the legend of Smosh from like before I was even born, he contributes to the downfall of our society. It's very sad to see, but we just have to accept it because, you know, these people, they just believe they're in the right part of history because in reality, conservatives have always been on the wrong side of history, alright? It's always the liberals that like kind of get their way, and then the world changes for the better. And then now we're at this point where the world, of course, we believe it's changing for the worse. Who's gonna come out on top? Let's just have a boxing match, you know? Like Dylan Mulvaney can take up my offer. We can box or something. I don't know how tall he is still, but yeah. Instead of just having wars, we should just have a David and Goliath kind of thing with every single country. So then only one person has to die instead of like 10 million. Of course, there's a lot of bits of the video I cut out and stuff, and so I don't want to be discrediting the whole video. It's like a half-hour long video that I just sat through the whole thing, and I commented over the highlights of it, the stuff that I actually care about. So if you want to watch the whole video yourself, you can go ahead and do that. I guess I'll link it in the description or something, I don't know. Like, if you can listen to Chris's whole story and stuff, and you can learn exactly why he became trans, okay? But I'm gonna be honest with you, mate, real quick. His story is very basic. I had a cousin that came out as trans like 1-2 years ago, something like that. And so she like talked about her whole story and stuff, and like we're just thinking like this story is so basic. And so that's the exact same feeling I got when listening to Chris's story and stuff. All of these trans people, they have nothing unique to add to the community. They're just like, I just don't feel the way I should be, and so I'm just different. Of course you feel different. You're at an awkward part of your life. Nobody feels like they fit in when they're like a teenager, or even in their young adult life. And so to come to the conclusion that you're not the thing that you're supposed to be born as, you know what I'm saying? It's delusional at best and mental illness at worst. Well, that's going to conclude it for today's video. Remember to subscribe to the second channel, subscribe to this channel, whatever the frick. Follow the Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and join the Discord server. And the Scotland vlog is finally uploaded on the second channel, so look for that, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to have a new podcast episode out tonight as well. I guess that's about it then. Follow all the social media. Bye-bye.